is what you got for me.
Durag Diaries. Yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Boardroom talk settings. You guys know what time it is by now. You asked for it weekly. I said I'm gonna bring it to you. So here we are. Myself, obviously, hosting your boy Jords. Joined by familiar faces and our usual panelists. But let me start with to my left. But hey, birthday boy today. So everyone needs to greet him correctly. He is a birthday boy today. So man like Elijah, happy birthday, but welcome to Boardroom Talks, man. How you doing?
Man. I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. It's a good day. Obviously, Tottenham dropping some interest in a player. Of course, it happens on my birthday, you know what I'm saying? It has to overshadow my special day. But I'm good, man. I can't complain, man. Life is going well, man.
No, very well. I can't lie. If there's any day that it could drop, is birthday day. That's what you need. You need to wake up some good birthday news. That's like, shit, this is what I like to see. But returning, he was going to show face last week, but I don't know if people did see. He did make a brief appearance on holiday. And I don't know, Jay was moving a bit mad. He started to get nipples out on stream and stuff. It was... Man, Jay was enjoying holiday life. He was enjoying holiday last week, so he couldn't join us.
It's like, what do people expect one to be wearing on holiday? You know, it's like 30 odd degrees, yeah. Like, man are talking about my chest. I'm like, it sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. Do you know what I mean? So I was indulged. Jordan was very, very supportive. I think Jordan will be getting his chest out someday on holiday. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you got it for one, like, there was a lot of jealous men in the chat. It's all right, you know. It's all right. Like, man came in there like Brock Lesnar. Couple of
Did the stream get demonetized? That's the only question.
Yeah. It's like no nudity. But no, thank you for having me. It's good to be back. This is one of my favorite Spurs, like, because but normally we talk quite logically about stuff that's going on, quite calmly. But you know, you never know. A little bit like
depending on the faces, you know, you can't.
This can go a bit depends left. On
chaos. You know, we get a box office, we get a Jacob in here, maybe someone else. It might go a bit left, but we love that. It's every now and then we need it. But at the same time, like I said, it's a Tottenham therapy show, man. Where we get here to just talk and just really understand what's wrong with our team and get everybody's point of view. Deji's going to be joining us soon. Jay, for me, if he decides to show face, people may show up, but we know what Jay's like with his schedules. Just decides to cancel shows sometimes. So he may or may not be here. But make sure you are subscribing to everyone, showing support to everyone's channels. They are in the description. But more importantly, Mr. Udang has dropped everyone's in the chat. Big up to Mr. Udang every single time. He's put it in the chat for you there, so you cannot miss. But no, look, there's no better place to start than the news that we got dropped late last night. This morning for some of you, for me anyway, I woke up this morning to it. Savio move looks like it could be close. Now, Fabrizio has tweeted and said a lot of things throughout the day, so there's been a lot of updates. The first of that was that Spurs have put a 50 million euro bid that has been rejected, but it is still Spurs and Man City are talking to get a deal done. Savino's keen on the move. Thomas Frank's keen on the player. Man City do want more money, closer to that of 70 million euros to get a deal done. I'll bring it to you, E. You know, like you said, Savio overshadowing your birthday. Is this the type of player you want to overshadow your birthday, or is this disappointing to you?
Nah, this is the type of player I want, bro. Savio's cold, isn't it?
That's what I like to do.
He's cold. I can't lie. He's like another Kudus, in it. You know what I'm saying? Even though they might be slightly, I think Savio's a bit more direct, but he's a Kudus level player, in it. And having someone like that, especially, I know they're saying 70 mil, but with the add-ons and stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's 70 mil, but it's not really going to be 70 because we'll throw some add-ons in there. And just like Spurs will underachieve and we'll end up not even hitting the add-on. So it'll probably be like 60 mil we spend. But Savio is cold, man. I know people have questions about his end product. I do understand that, but we're not looking for Savio to be a goal scorer. You know what I'm saying? And obviously goal scoring is something we're lacking in the team. But players like Kudus, players like Savio, what they do is not necessarily on the GA sheet. It's not on the score sheet. It's not on the the stat sheet. What they do best is generate space and opportunity for other players. That's what they do best. So when you see Kudus having these low GA seasons, it's like, I understand that, but the main thing that Kudus does is generate space, draw in defenders. You know what I'm saying? Get another person on the overlap run, Porro on the overlap. You know, Savio could do a Udogi on the overlap, or you can generate space for a Solanke. This is what these players do, and that's not something that's really shown on the stat sheet. That's something you just watch and play and see. So I'm very happy about this type of signing. I think Savio will be a great player. I think he'll be great under Frank. And I'm excited, man. Hopefully we get this deal done.
Very, very excited. I can't like say that a lot of people look at the numbers. They look at the specific goals. You know, he scored 1 goal in the Premier League all season and all of this stuff. Completely miss out the context. But let me come to Jay before I say anything, because everyone's heard me too much today. Jay, I know this is your type of player. So talk to me about how good of a signing is this. I don't even need to question that.
Yeah. So for me, I was just saying this before on the stream. I was saying that like it got to a point where I just didn't know what to make of Johan Lange. It was like I feel his squad building is suboptimal. Yeah, like I was saying this before, he takes a lot of risk. He takes too many risks considering we're a top club with our squad building. Like having 2 left wingers that are 20 years old going into the season, that's a risk. Now, if they bang, fantastic. However, the point is that you should never be putting yourself in a situation like that as a top team, where you're hoping that one of the 2 players is going to do amazing. You should be going in with one established and one not established. Even to this point now, where Savio to me is like, it's really interesting. Unless Tell's going to get used as a 9, I'm like, well, why did you buy Tell? Because if you have Odebear and you have Savio, Tell was only bought like a month ago or whatever, like 2 months ago. You didn't have to buy him. Yeah. So it's almost like, so you bought him now. Now we have 3 left wingers, 20, 20, 21. So I wanted to put that down just initially because I'm like, I don't understand how they're all going to get the amount of minutes necessary for them all to develop to the level they're meant to develop to. So this is a side note of caution that or at least one of these 3 players probably won't get to their potential because they've not got a sufficient number of minutes. Right? So that's just a side note to but Savio is a player, really, really good player. Really, and this is the one thing I'm gonna credit Lange is, you know, Gibbs White, Savio. He's going for players which don't at first, you wouldn't think of them at first thought. But then when you do think of them, you're like, wow, what a good signing. So he's, to his credit, they're identifying players where it's like, oh, okay, smart. I wouldn't have thought of that. But yeah, that's good. And for me, it's like, for his age, if you can get, you've seen what the going rate is for wingers at the moment. Like, so 55 million, 60 million, that's fine. Yeah. Like, as in, like, that's the kind of going rate. Now, if you look at that and you say to yourself, right, I like this player, he's a good player. You look at his peers in the market. What are the alternative? I'd argue Savio is the best quality winger we can get. Like, as in, like, it, like, if you think about it, like, who
is this based on availability or just in general?
In terms of, like, okay, you might say Liao, but would Liao come?
So availability, basically. Who could we actually realistically get?
Yeah, so in terms of quality and who would actually come to Tottenham, yeah, definitively, no questions. Yeah, who could we get better?
But the thing is with Savio is like, we didn't even think you'd want to come to this happened out of nowhere. You know, the moving silence
that's
thing.
The thing.
I don't even think any of us, none of us thought Savio would be interested.
Nobody would have thought Savio to Spurs.
No, bro, 48 hours ago. 48 hours ago, we would have all been like, Savio is not leaving Man City. What are we talking about? But that's what I'm saying. The moving silence thing, which again is something else I got to give Lange credit for. It's infuriating when you're not signing no one, but when you are signing someone, it feels justified to move in silence in itself.
Yeah, that's
I think it might have been a case that, you know, because we've been hearing the links. Spurs did speak to City, But it wasn't for Savio. I remember last week, they're all hearing, and Elijah, you would know because they brought it to me and I was having an argument about it. We went to City for Grealish. I said, don't bring this guy. He's old, he's washed. We don't need him. We don't want this. The guy's got all these other problems outside of football. There's rarely played that much across the last 2 seasons. We don't need him. So for me, I reckon we've gone to City. We've obviously spoken with them, seen what we can do. And it's like, oh, Savio, maybe we've heard something there. They're willing to sell him. He's looking for game time. I think, look, someone put in the chat, Mr. Udang, I think, did to say that his main motivator was that he wants to get into that Brazil team for the World Cup next year, which is a huge opportunity for him. And playing at Tottenham and being an important player, playing nearly every minute would help him. When I look at the type of player, you guys hit the nail on the head. I think it works out for Spurs for so many reasons. We know Spurs want young players. They're only willing to invest a lot of money into young players, especially talented ones at that. So he's a ceiling raiser, but he's also a floor raiser too, because he's better than all the left wingers we got on that standard. And for me, when I look at the potential, he's got a higher potential than those of Odegaard and Tel, who I still think have high potentials themselves and still have a lot to give. But when I look at the player, for his age, he's more achieved, he's a bit more accomplished, he's more settled in what you expect from him. And when you go to talk about his last season, obviously wasn't on the goal side of things, high numbers. He got like 3 goals in all competitions, and then he's got 13 assists, which assist-wise, you can tell the creative side of things he's covered. When you look at his dribbling, his shot creating actions, his chances created, he ticks all the boxes on that side of things. But the one key thing is he played on the right-hand side. He was inverting last season. He's not an inverted winger. If you look at every single game he played for Girona was on the left-hand side, or he played like a couple in the middle. He's a left winger. You get him on his left foot, left wing, running down the outside, doing that job and beating his man.
What we need.
And that's what I think works. And do you know what? It's why we need it. We need it because we know how bad, or I should say how poorly we created for Solanke last season. I think we need wingers that can get to the byline and cut back to work for Solanke. That's what I'm thinking. Like, we can make the most of Solanke with these players.
But I think the only thing is like it's almost like it's a different game. It's difficult because I completely get what you're saying, but it's different game state now, isn't it? Different tactical setup, different where the players are going to be positioned and things. So it's almost like you can understand and appreciate how they would have looked for Ange, but still we've got very little data on the team at the moment. That's the thing for me at the moment. It's like we played 3 games where it was like the
Wemby jersey's fire, bro.
Yeah, it's nice. It's so we played 3 games and we played Newcastle, we played Arsenal, we played Bayern. And one thing on the Bayern thing is, like, I actually came out of that game thinking raw. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in, like, I wasn't even thinking like so much like we're crap. I was like, oh, Bayern, like Diaz at Bayern is just a massive problem now for other teams because Musiala's injured at the moment too. So if you think when Musiala and Alphonso Davies get back, yeah,
it's wrong.
Bro, that's what I'm trying to say. It's because everyone's got to go 1-to-1 because they've got so many good players. Elise was 1-on-1. Musiala's 1-on-1. Kane's there occupying the centre backs. Diaz is going to be going 1-on-1 like relentlessly. So they're going to be a good team anyway. But I haven't really been able to see what kind of team we're going to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've not had a huge amount of opportunity to play. And the one thing I noticed against Bayern is obviously we played a very strong Bayern team. We played a team missing 3-4 starters, and then obviously we don't have a number 10 too. So it's one of those where the result was, bad and things like that. But when you look overall at what we're trying to do, it's very early to have any kind of sweeping points. But I also don't have a point of reference as to like what we're actually going to be like and how we're actually going to play. And that's the most difficult thing, I think, for fans at the moment, is like the reason why they feel more helpless and more irritable and annoyed is because they don't know what the base level is going to be. So it's almost like we're not doing anything, we're not doing this, but we don't actually know we're coming in.
You don't know what football we're playing, innit? If we're
exactly.
transition team, if we're possession team, if we're still trying to, and I think it was made harder by the opponents we faced because Arsenal, we was playing a team that's better than us, like team player for player wise at the moment. So we already knew that we were going to be up against it quite a lot of the game. Newcastle, similar. They're in a much more settled state. They're a better footballing team than us right now. This is always going to happen. And Bayern as well. So, and I feel like the first two friendlies, obviously, there's barely any to take them. There's just so many youngsters playing. So we generally haven't had a good point to really judge our team. And even the next game, which we'll get into later, it's going to be tough for us to judge our team. But big up to Deji inside. Welcome to the boardroom. It's been a long time, but pleasure to have you here.
You got my bros.
All right, Deji. I know when you saw that news last night, you was here. You already started speaking. I know you're getting a pen and paper. Right? You started to write some bars. You're speaking of the tune to rate for the Here We Go. Chat to us. Savio, big business.
Yeah, Savio, bro. I think it's massive. I didn't think a signing like that could be possible, but a signing like that is needed to lift the spirits. Savio is a bad man. Let's just be honest. And from looking at the stats, he's stronger on the left-hand side than he is the right. I should just quickly point out and say, based on what Jay was saying, the Bayern Munich games and the PSG games are blessings in disguise. Yeah, one, the Bayern Munich game highlighted the golf in class. That's what you get when every area of your position, your 11, is on job. You get Bayern Munich, yeah? We don't have a 10. We don't have a minute. Remember, before the Bayern Munich game, Tottenham had come out to say that we're only looking for a 10 and a centre-back. After the Bayern Munich game, we're like, bloody hell, mate, we need a winger. Yeah, because Turner make it and neither does Odegaard. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why we're bringing in Savio. Savio's going to be massive, bro. If you think what Thomas Frank has had to do with Championship League One players, now he's dealing with up-and-coming Brazilian superstars, and I think he's going to cook. I think Savio's going to cook. I think he could even break into the Brazilian national team. But the reason why we are not able to see Spurs' identity is because we haven't got all the pieces to the jigsaw. What can you possibly do against Bayern Munich when you ain't got any creativity on field or on the bench? There's nothing you can do. All you can do is sit back and hope for the best. The same for the wingers. They're not up to scratch, bro. So until we sort out, I would have liked to have seen us play Bayern Munich with a Savio, for example, and an Eze. Just those two signings, I'm not saying we're gonna win, but we will have more of a goal. Yeah, and the players on the pitch can look. Kudus can look at Eze. Eze can look back at Kudus and say, "Bro, let's just double team these brothers right now and see what we can do." Kudus is by himself. He's looking at Papsar. He's looking at Brennan Johnson. It's not.
He's one ain't on my level, man.
It's not on the level, bro. So until that happens, we can't really judge. The only positive thing that we can take out of pre-season so far, and I don't give a damn what anyone says, getting a win against Arsenal and a draw against Newcastle is no joke, is that defensively we're stronger. And for that, I am grateful. But in terms of the attack, yeah, we are looking very, very meaty.
One thing I'll just say on that, Deji, because you make a lot of good points. I think that I feel like there's a lot of, when I look at certain similar managers, and I probably look at like an Eddie Howe, and I'd probably say you could even look at maybe like Arteta when he started at Arsenal, right? Mm-hmm. They had a dramatic improvement when they got Odegaard into the team. Well, firstly, they got a dramatic when Smith Rowe started playing, because he wasn't playing Smith Rowe to start off with. But then when they got Odegaard in as well, like similar structure, similar team, just having that playmaker just knitted everything together. That's why Madders is a big loss for us, because he would have helped knit everything together. Like if you look at how Damsgaard played, I looked at how Eriksen played under Frank, there's no doubt that Maddison could have played that specific role very well for the team. And we never got the opportunity to see it pre-season because he was just coming back, and then he's done his ACL straight away. So straight away now, it's like, okay, so who can play that role? Do I think Eze can? I think Eze could play that kind of role. I think he could play that kind of style. Because when you're looking at like how I've seen Eriksson and Damsgaard play for Brentford. Never like it's more the interplay, the knitting the team together, the flow. A lot of people are talking more like, oh, there's no runners, there's no this, there's no that. I'm like, I get what people are talking about, but technical ability is technical ability, and that's how you pay through presses. When you're watching PSG getting pressed through the heads off, everyone's very highly technical. Everyone's able to sidestep. Everyone's able to retain the ball. You know what I mean? You can make the argument we needed more technical ballers under Ange. It's funny if you'd had Luis Enrique at Spurs instead of Ange, he might have played people like Donnelly and Tyrese Hall. Like he would rather play players who would keep the ball and retain it and not lose it than play better players. Do you know what I mean? Who can't do that. So a lot of this now is very true. Like you see the gulf of when you have a 7.5/8 out of 10 player in every position.
Yeah.
And when you're playing that way and you don't have, I think the lack of patterns or the lack of playmaker really affects you then, because then you've got players who are not super high technical ability under a lot of pressure, under a lot like being pressed, now they're making mistakes. Now even you see Richarlison like doing like I thought Richarlison technically against Bayern was quite good.
My bro.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like he was actually
wait. You say Richarlison was good?
Technically, he was quite. Like if you look at how much ball he got in that game, like he got like.
But Jay, the problem with Richarlison is every time he gets the ball, what does he do with it?
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. Against Bayern, he still managed to get 3 chances, isn't it? Got 3 shots off. Do you see what I mean?
He gets 3 shots off, but how should he not have scored at least one? He should have scored.
Yeah, 100%. But what I'm trying to say is like we didn't play very well. Yeah, and he didn't. It was just like boot the ball to him and he fights. He's fighting.
He's done that his whole Spurs career, and that's my problem with him. Is I feel like we can't play him because I think the Frank system and why we struggled so much against Bayern Munich is because you had Kudus who was coming to collect the ball, and then when he would get on the ball, you've got Richarlison and Brennan Johnson are running away from the ball. They're both trying to run into those areas where Kudus can put across him, but let's be honest, Kudus' final ball is not amazing, so you can't rely on him to find you guys every single time.
But I think the point that you're making is a good point where it's almost like players were not coming to play with the player who had the ball in order to then help us progress the ball. People were almost like, okay, he's got the ball, let me make a run. Yeah, which is good in terms of you trying to create something, but it's bad because you become too direct. Nobody is playing with the player who has the ball. No one's passing. There's no triangles and stuff. But it's funny when you saw us against maybe even Wickham. When we played Wickham, if you guys caught the game, first half an hour before Austin's mistake, we were popping it, we were passing, we were controlling the game, things like that. And that to me gave me an insight in terms of, okay, when things are going well, it can look a bit like this. Do you see what I mean? But we're also quite solid where we can go into duel type games now. The Arsenal game and Newcastle game showed me, okay, if it's a scrap, we can scrap.
Yeah.
The problem against Bayern was you needed to scrap, play, and defend because you're playing a quality team. And it's like we couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time. That's what happened in that game. Yeah. It was all of a sudden like you're asking early in Frank's era, you're asking them to do it was like information overload after half an hour. Do you know what I mean? And it was just like then it was okay, what is the last formative thing in my brain that I remember from a tactical point of view? It was how we were playing in Europe, going defensively, dropping deep, things like that. Do you see what I mean? So the players are reverting to their internal logic as to what they've been doing.
No, they got anti-PTSD basically.
Exactly. It was almost like there was very much an imposter syndrome in that game from Tottenham.
Yeah, you can see it in the players, especially that Arsenal one. That Arsenal game you're talking about, isn't it?
No, the Arsenal game for me was fine in terms of like, but it was in this game when we played Bayern. After maybe 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, there was a realization of, oh, these guys are better than us.
Yeah. So they just got to sit right back.
Yeah, and it's just like there was just the energy just kind of just a little bit of deflation. If they need to play at this 100 miles an hour, we played like that against Arsenal. And the fact they were better than us, they've got better players than us, it was kind of rendered null and void because of the intensity that we played at. But against Bayern, once we dropped a little bit, the tactical, the logic, the pressing, and Palhinha didn't obviously help in this instance, but he didn't help us. But he didn't help because Frank has to learn very early that, like, obviously Sarr can play with Palhinha, Bentancur can play with Palhinha, but playing all three of them, like, you just have to try.
I wouldn't even want to play Bentancur with them.
Yeah, that's what I say. I think Bentancur, I think he's looked really good in that deep line playmaker, especially when he's been in the 6. I've liked him better in that role as of recently under Frank. But I definitely playing all three of them is just suicide, man. You ain't got nobody that can progress the ball, whether they're carrying it, whether they're passing it. It just didn't work out. Big up to Udang again. He keeps dropping the news. Paul O'Keefe has come out now and said Eze is close with first team coach Justin Cochran. If that even means anything, doesn't mean anything to me. How are you guys feeling?
That's not an update. That's not an update.
It seems like the Eze stuff, as this Savio stuff has come out, the Eze stuff has started to heat back up. And I don't know if it's, because Spurs are trying to get either Savio or Eze either or if it's they want both.
I have a theory.
Go on.
Look, I think Tottenham have always been in for Eze. And I was always laughing when Arsenal fans were saying that they've got Eze over the line or Eze's agreed terms. I think the issue with Spurs and Eze is terms. I think we're offering him some idiot P. Do you know what I mean? I think, Daniel Levy's offered Eze 140, 150 a week. Yeah. And Eze saying, if I come to Spurs, I'm the best player at your club. Minimum, I need to be on 200 grand a week. Because don't get it twisted. Arsenal will be spending 200, 220, 30 grand a week for Eze. And so there's no way in hell we're going to be getting away with 140 grand a week. So I do feel Spurs are going to have to up the ante, and rightly so, because Eze comes to Spurs. He wants to come to Spurs because he knows he's guaranteed to be first team football. He's guaranteed to be the main man. And as long as he's the main man at Spurs and he's doing bits, he's guaranteed a spot in that England World Cup team. Whereas with Arsenal, he runs the risk of playing second fiddle to Asgard. And I don't think he's stupid enough to want to do it, even though he has the self-belief to know he can displace him. It's a no-brainer for me. And I think if Tottenham bring in Savio and Eze, it's a good look. For me, it's top 6, top 7 material with those signings. Had it been Rodrigo on the left-hand side, I would have been telling you top 4.
No,
I think you would have said title charge. That's what you would have said, Deji. Really, you would have started talking about title. I know it.
It's because we're here, but we're not on NAF. That's why, isn't it? We're here, so we're getting the honest answer. That's what
Deji might have started talking about women in the league, bro. But
yes, but the thing is like the Maddison injury has basically meant like now it gets to a point where it's like, okay, it's like it probably is one could even make the argument, okay, next summer we were going to buy a 10. And it's almost like you can even justify it from a budget point of view, where you say, listen, we're bringing this forward. We have to because of Maddison.
Do you guys seriously think we will, though? That's the real
question.
We
have to.
You say we have to, but
we have to.
I question Spurs. Like, I've questioned our ambition a lot in it, and especially in the transfer window. We've looked at how this transfer window has played out till now. Just 2 weeks ago, we heard the news to say that, Spurs are confident they will have their transfer budget. Not that we have our transfer budget and we know what we're looking to spend. We're confident. We was confident just 2 weeks ago that we'll have it. So that's already questions to me to say that, like, we've got a month left of the window and Spurs are still not too sure who they want, where their budget is, and what they want to do for the summer. Now, obviously, with Maddison going down, it highlights a bigger problem, and it's going to speed that process up. But at the same time, I think if Spurs go big on Savio, let's just say we invest 60 million. I can't see us going to invest another 60 million pounds on another forward attacking player. I reckon we go for another, like an El Khanous type signing who'd be 20 million, which for me, another number 10 that who's talented and good, then it could work. But I just don't see Spurs doing 2 60 million pound signings, especially in a similar position.
Okay, so my point here is that this is what I mean about Lange's fucking squad building with the tell money now. because now you're looking at it and it's like that money would be real helpful for a top 10 if you hadn't bought him and you were going for Savio and Odegaard. Now, I feel like the club, if you look at it more logically, I think we just zoom out a little bit and then say, right, we've lost Werner, Moore's gone out on loan, Son's gone.
I can't believe you left. We lost Werner. Werner's not a lot.
From a squad point of view, but think about it, the first half of last season, he played a lot of minutes, right?
Unfortunately,
yeah. But you say that, but it was when Werner got fully phased out of the team that our form actually dramatically dropped. So I'm not even.
Oh, we really doing team of Werner propaganda?
No, it's not.
Hey, you're trying to start some chaos right now. I don't know if you want to go.
It's not prop, but it's not prop. But and giving more of Werner's minutes, I do think was a bad idea. Like Werner, like regardless of him being absolute ass, was still able to somewhat affect the game, whereas Moore was not able to affect Prem games at all. Do you know what I mean? So that's another point for another day. But when you're looking at it, obviously we've lost a number of players. So you've got Son out. If you say Son for Kudus, okay, cool. Then we still need to replace Werner, Moore, and these guys as well. You could say Tell, but I think the Savio one for me is like the club can say Paz or Eze for that number 10, and they can just fucking eat the cost. Do you know what I mean? Because we've lost.
You're sounding like that's the
idea. No, but what I'm saying is we've lost our Premier number 10 to an ACL, right? So in that position, our other number 10 is coming off a broken kneecap. Okay, so that's our current top 2 creative players. That's the situation. Okay, facts. So now the question is, okay, you need a number 10. Okay, now what is the point in buying somebody until these guys? So when's Kulu back? Don't know. Mattis is out probably for the season. So you're in a situation now. It's why buy an El Canus? Yeah, unless you're thinking he's going to be starting 70% of his games this season. Yeah, because that's what we need. We need a starter because the other 2 starters are unavailable. So the club has to eat the situation, even if it's next year's budget. Yeah, they've got to bring it forward because we need a starting 10. Yeah, if anything, the Savio is Lange saying, shit, I fucked up with Tell. Yeah, that's what that is. So I don't even care. Oh, Richarlison's going and Tell's going to play up top or whatever. I'm not going to overanalyze that. But in terms of a number 10, I don't want to say, oh, Kudus can play there or this. We need a starting number 10. Otherwise, Frank's being left short.
Yeah, I don't want to see Kudus in that 10 spot, bro. I do not want to see him.
Neither do I.
I
agree. But I agree with Jay, and I feel like it can be done. Remember, we wanted to bring in Morgan Gibbs-White. For whatever reason, that didn't happen. We need to pivot, redirect, and make sure that we try and get Eze over the line. There is no way. I even said, I tried to put an argument out for Harvey Elliott. And as good as Harvey Elliott is, what I'm hearing from Jay, and I totally agree, the 10 can't just be any 10. It needs to be a 10 that can carry the team. Do you get what I'm saying? This is a big role. And in order for us to be able to maintain 4 months before Kulusevski potentially comes back, Maddison ain't coming back this season. And if he does come back, we're looking at March at the earliest. So we need a bad man to occupy that space, to hold down the fort until the end of the season. And so that is Eze type levels. And if you're not bringing in that, even when they're talking about that Nico Paz or whatever his name is, it's like, yeah, he's good, but he's not coming to carry the squad, the club on his shoulders. It needs to be a big game player. And so that's my little assessment on that.
And also just one thing before you go in is that from a nicey point of view, like Eze is a good one-to-one replacement for Son from a personality point of view in the club. Yeah. Very rare. You can't replace Son's personality, but Eze is probably a one-to-one replacement from a personality point of view.
We need a good old church boy in.
Yeah, that's what I say. A good Christian boy just to replace Son.
Apparently, that's why he's going Arsenal. I heard he was going Arsenal to go start up Bible boys with Saka. That's what man was saying.
It's all fun and games too. You run into Saliba, bro, taking the pictures and that. So it's
let me not because people will be like, he started an agenda on Nani Madueke. I'm like, he's out here DMing Ruby Rose. You can't put him around a good Christian boy like that.
I'm saying, man. It's like starting a church when you're in hell, bro. It makes no sense.
Exactly.
You don't want to do that, man.
Elijah, chat to us though, because I know you're more of a fan of these younger signings, going for players that are a bit more unproven, but like have higher ceilings. Would you be more for a signing like El Khanous, or because I know? Look, let's think on the realistic side of things. Like Eze is going to be a very hard deal to get done, and like Deji and Jay have both pointed out, personal terms could also be an issue because Arsenal want him, and he may not want Spurs. Like it may be as simple as that. Would you be more willing, especially if we get a player like Savio to come in, to go with a more unproven 10? Because we've got a better winger, or do you think we need to go hard on both positions? But
if Maddison was fit, then I wouldn't mind, but he isn't. So no, we need Eze because I'm all for like getting players who have like the potential and stuff like that, and I'm all for the scouting and stuff. But if we're replacing players on the level of Maddison and Kulusevski temporarily with El Khanous in a starting lineup, it's a problem. That's a big problem because we're not Leicester, bro. Okay, he's not supposed to be starting. So nah. I'm sure he has something about him. I didn't really watch Leicester like that because, I mean, to be fair, they beat us, but even so, they're shit. So didn't really give me a reason to really watch them, man. But nah, if he was like the number 2, or I guess number 3 in it, if he plays in the 10, like number 2 or number 3 option, I wouldn't mind so much. But we need a starter. We need someone who can just start because we're saying, oh yeah, well, Maddison comes back, bro. By the time he recovers, we need to be looking for another club to send him to, bro. His time's over. So we really need someone who will be there with Kulusevski going forward. We need that 1-2 punch in the 10. So like Madders is basically he's donezo. Bye-bye, fam. Innit? Like, thank you for your service, but you need to go.
Elijah's finally seen the light.
Finally is crazy. But yeah, we need an Eze, fam. We need an Eze because he reminds me more of Maddison than he does of Kulusevski. You know what I'm saying? So I personally want an Eze in there. El Khanous would be nice as a second option, but I don't want to start the season with El Khanous in the 10, bro. I don't.
Yeah. No doubt. I think obviously, look, when we're looking at the ideal situation, going to get a Nico Paz as a type player, somebody who can literally carry this team on the creative element of this team, but more than anything, create for those of Kudus and Savio, because as much as they are wingers and they're going to be able to pick up the ball and do a lot of the work all by themselves because they are 1v1 wingers and proper wingers at that, we're still going to need someone who's going to be able to create for them, play those passes through. And I don't think we have a needle thread at the moment. The one thing I have noticed, though, by just looking at the scouting and the type of player we are looking at, it looks as if Frank is targeting ball carriers in Morgan Gibbs-White, Nico Paz, Eze. He wants players that are heavy ball carriers in the team. He wants someone that can progress the play by dragging it forward. So looking at that, I think depends who. That's why I say El Khanous would fit in that mold for me, and for a cheaper option, I think he could come in and give us a very good quality. Now,
but he's not lifting the squad, and he's not helping us get.
He starts in the 10 for us. He starts in the 10 for us.
He starts in the 10 because our friends are injured
until Kulu comes back. But I think that's the case for most.
I mean,
let's be honest.
On a level, bro. It's we're brothers in it, so we're gonna have this conversation. I'm not here trying to have our club looking meaty, bro. We're not Brighton. Yeah, we're supposed to be challenging the likes of Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, even Newcastle, if you want to put them in there. I'm not trying to do this Leicester City bull crap. The truth of the matter is, I've been saying it, and the summer started off with the right intent. What do I mean? We should have been picking up the best of the rest from time. We picked up Kudus, arguably the best player at West Ham. We were about to pick up Morgan Gibbs-White, arguably the best player at Nottingham Forest. That is the sort of spirit, intent that Spurs should be doing. If you're telling me we're picking up El Khanous and he's the best player at Leicester, maybe we can have a conversation. But he's not even the best player at Leicester, bro. So let's not lie to ourselves.
Fatu is the best player, innit? They got a good right winger, Fatu. He's cold.
The other thing is that Thomas Frank has highlighted that Johan Lange ain't understanding what he's looking for. Yeah,
do you know what? I did
yeah.
actually want to bring up some of those quotes, and just on the
Yeah.
reference to you saying that, I'll share the screen
because Wolves brought in.
Lange is a fraud, bro.
Wolves brought in John. Is it Arias John? He could have done this job easily. The guy that played for Fluminense in the Club World Cup. This brother's gone to Wolves. Cheap players. You know, like there are players out there who we could have bought quite easily, but we've let our fellow counterparts get them. Cunha is a big mistake for me. We should have gone in for that 2-0. Maybe we don't get it over the line because we're not going to offer the 200 grand wages, but that's the sort of ilk, best of the rest. Do you get what I'm saying? And unless Eze is the best player at Palace, that fits with our intent. Yes, go and grab him. Do you get me? Savio, probably one of the best up and coming prospects at City. That's where you can give a blind because it's City. He's young. They bought him. He's a prospect. Give a blind there.
Shopping in City's there's a difference between shopping in Chelsea's trash and City's trash. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but look at it. Like we're due. Everyone else has had their City stimulus. Like we ain't had our City stimulus package. Do you know what I mean? And like Savino's our City stimulus package. You look at the other. Look at Chelsea. They're like a fiend. They can't stop. They can't stop with the City hits. And you know you're not gonna go like he's. And I completely. When you then critique Lange, you can't. And that's why I'm almost like it's difficult to be too harsh on him because he's trying to bring the best youngsters. And he's also, like Deji saying, trying to buy the best of the rest. It's not a horrific strategy. Do you know what I mean? It's just
find a good balance, though. That's the problem. Is you got to find a good balance.
But that's the whole point. And that's why I'm critical of him. You know, but I like the fact the club is seemingly at a point where it's like, okay, we'll buy Tel and Savio, but not if the club doesn't buy a 10. Because if the club doesn't buy a 10. And then I'm looking at the Tel. Then I'm looking at the Tel purchase. Like you fucked us up, Lange. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So
yeah. And on Johan Lange there, look, these are the comments that come out a few days ago from Thomas Frank regarding Johan Lange, and I think it's just perfect on the things that we're talking about and on him. But for those of you obviously who can't read, we'll just read it out really quickly. Obviously, Frank, this is Thomas Frank on Johan Lange, who says, obviously we are signing players here where the process is in Brentford. I'm not saying they were better. I think they are very good. I think that Johan and his team are doing a top job, but just for them to understand what I'm looking for, so that needs to be aligned. At Brentford, it was aligned. I want that. Okay, fine. We look at it, boom. And now I need to use more time with Johan and Rob and these guys, and then we make presentations. No, I need that instead. So all this is just extra hours every day. What do we think of this comment? What do we think it means? Some people think it's very bad to say that, you know, Frank's having to spend a lot of extra time to basically break down what he wants to Frank, to Johan Lange, and I don't know the Rob guy he's talking about.
Rob McKenzie, he's our chief scout.
Bro,
those guys.
What it tells me, bro, real talk. Us on the panel and those in the chat, make sure you like and subscribe. You know, smash a like on my brother's channel. We are doing and can do a better job than Lange. I'm telling you now, bro. Let's just keep it a buck. Sometimes I listen to Spurs fans talking about our players, and I'm like, am I in some sort of parallel universe? Are they smoking some budge? For example, Timo Werner was always rubbish. Why would we sign a player like that even on loan? I wouldn't even take him even if he didn't want paid. Even if he said he's doing it for free, I wouldn't have taken Werner. Like, real talk. Why are we signing Tel? There's nothing there. We are hoping that Thomas Frank can do something. We are bigging up Mikey Moore as if he's on the same level as Ethan Nwaneri. There's a gulf.
Deji, just one thing on Tel is it's funny because we played Bayern a couple of years ago in the friendly with and do you remember when Tel came on that pitch and he looked absolutely ridiculous, absolutely dusting us up. And it's funny because that's what I'm trying to understand. When people like Tel, when people say like fans say, oh, you know, Tel's capable, I'm like, what do you mean? I've seen him play to a very high level versus us. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, and I see the level he's playing at now is definitely a notch below what he was showing in those friendlies against us. I think we can all agree, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like there's a lot of hopefulness with some of these players, and the thing is like I think there's a big difference between being honest and logical and being an optimist. I'm a very optimistic Spurs fan. I'm not like Deji, like in the location kind of energy, but I'm close enough. I'm adjacent, second cousins. And the point is that like some fans just want these guys to be right. But the funniest thing about football is that we've all seen it. Even do you remember that one day Ramos squad when we had like Gio dos Santos? And we all thought
I remember him.
Yeah, we all thought Dos Santos was gonna come in and just carve stuff up. And he never got there. And there's players that never get to where you think they're gonna get to. But then the other thing I would say is that if you took the players that we've signed and you put them into Chelsea, I would be looking at it and be like, oh, Chelsea making good signings. Do you know what I mean? So,
Jay, you're making it sound pretty, but I don't think that necessarily is the case.
You know what? But
the problem with us is the volume of signings. We've made 3 signings, or like I'll be real, the Tell and Danso stuff, I count that as January business. That's January's business. Yeah. This summer, you look at Chelsea, who are on their 6th or 7th attacker with Garnacho and Xavi Simons. 7 attackers in one window. They're looking at signing or in and around that. Was it Delap, Pedro, Gittins, Esteval, whatever? They've got too many.
Yeah.
They've revamped their whole attack. Us, on the other hand, we just need. I want a couple pieces to start in our team, and we can't even do that. And is the volume of signings shared. But sorry.
Yeah, I hear you. I agree. It's the volume of signings, but sometimes what I'm even trying to say is that it's the quality of signings. Like for me, Morgan Gibbs made a lot of sense, but when we're bringing in players like Tell, when we're shaking our bum violently for Bergvall, I think Bergvall is He's not that guy.
One person.
Lying to ourselves. Archie Gray.
Bergvall is that guy.
He's
one person.
I haven't seen. There's just certain players that we've given them a bigger pedestal than is warranted. Whereas we see other teams. You can see that Ethan Nwaneri, I keep stressing that point. He's a bad man. Like when he gets on the pitch, he does. Like Ethan Nwaneri can start for Spurs in the 10. That's the sort of solidity. That's the sort of matter of fact.
He would like if we gave him the keys to play number 10, he'd bang.
He would bang, bro.
But the problem is, I feel like we could have these. We could have these level of youngsters. We just don't take the opportunity to even give them the chance.
Like, nah, bro, come on, bro. Like,
Ethan. Obviously, I know, like that type of quality, you would know instantly.
That's what I'm saying. He's a special kid
because I've watched Nwaneri
like Williams Barnett. You can tell he's that level. He's that guy.
He looks special. But even then, I'm seeing, and they're gonna hate me for saying it now because I've been cooking him, or not really cooking him, but just trying to tell them stop overrating him. But even that Dalman, you can see from his age already, like he's
like considering he's 15 and he's doing up men.
Bro, the ruthlessness, like to just run on the pitch and just look at these players doing the step overs. It's like, these guys have got that ability. You could see it instantly. Now, I always say, I'm like, if you're good enough, you come through in it. And if we haven't given those players the path, it's because they're not good enough. Most of our academy graduates have not gone on to do anything. So I'm not mad about it from that sense. But on the squad building side of things, Johan Lange's been doing a very okay job. Like, I think he's been good at getting the young players in. And I mean, Paratici done a good job of doing that. But it's finding that balance and then also getting good deals. And let's be honest, the biggest problem for us and why we don't do as much is selling. We're holding on to so many players that we can't get rid of right now. And
one thing on selling that I've realized I think is actually really interesting. I never thought of it before. Chelsea, when people are buying and Chelsea have positioned themselves as a seller. Like Chelsea, like, hey, we do deals here. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what's that secondhand shop that you go in and you take your secondhand things? CEX. or whatever.
Oh,
That's what that's what Chelsea are like.
Cash converters,
Cash converters, bro. They are open for business. And the beauty of a Chelsea approach is you go there, and this is the thing about El Canus. Sorry, I'm just reminding me. It's like the same. Don't let tacticals on the timeline get into your brain, yeah. Because I keep a note of some of the players these tacticals rate. They were all shaking their bums violently. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Players like Leslie Ugochukwu or something. You should have seen the way they were twerking for players like that. For him to be,
he looks pretty good, man.
Oh,
bro, his name sounds like he's throwing up, bro. Like,
I know, but he's like he's a holding midfielder who's still very young, who you would expect in a few years to get a bigger move.
They held his talent as well, bro. But it only hits a certain level.
Exactly. This is what will happen if you take El Canus to Tottenham, maybe. Do you know what I mean? You'll see.
But then how about you do this though, Jay? If you were like Chelsea, you invest in the player. If he's not good enough in here, you sell him for the same price, if not more. They don't lose value at that price, at that age. 21, 22-year-old loses value. They lose value when they're 26 going up. So if you invest in it and it's like, okay, this player we don't think is going to work out. Let's just say Tell, for example. If we in 12 months it doesn't work out, we should sell him. The problem is Spurs. We're going to wait until 1 year left in his contract, and he's worth nothing. And it's like, let's get rid of him for 10 mil.
But this is the damn if you do damn. And by the way, I saw what he said in the comments. SSJ. This is Don't make me check your Twitter and see what kind of nonsense tactical you're on. He starts.
No, this one. Who remembers this guy? Who remembers this guy when everyone was telling us that we need to sign Gift
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. Gordon Levy a bum because he wouldn't stoke up 35 million for Gift Orban. Like that's what happened. And it's not. Listen, I get it. Like I understand it. But I'm looking at this and I'm saying, right, with Spurs, I'm okay with some of the signings Lange has made. Like, do you know what I mean? I look at the players and I think, okay, like Bergvall, Gray. Well, Gray's a little expensive, but sure, like let's hope he fulfills it. Odegaard, he's buying good young players who might have a good ceiling. But on the other side, it's almost like, do you need all of them? Do you know what I mean? It's almost like, did you need Bergvall and Gray? Couldn't you have just bought one?
Exactly.
Did you need Odegaard and Tell? Couldn't you have just bought one? Do you see what I mean? And that's my logic. But it's also like I do rate the fact that he doesn't come off mute for fucking players like Bakayoko and stuff. Like he doesn't like that's the thing I'll rate about Lange. Yeah, like he's like young under 21, cool, or established prem, cool. He ain't falling for these West Ham players in the middle.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Good. But the other thing that does perplex me, though, if I could say that, is that the one player that I rate on the level of Ethan Nwaneri and so is Viskovic. And Viskovic we're going to send out on loan. I think he's more 30 than Bergvall. He's more 30 than Archie Gray. He's more 30 than Tell.
Nah, but the only thing I'd say on that is, how many 18-year-old centre-backs are there in the Premier League?
No, there isn't many, but I just think in terms of a pecking order, he should be coming through quicker than those other three brothers.
You know what? I'm gonna give you guys the cautionary tale of Juan Foyth.
Oh no, Juan Foyth was. Do you know what though? Juan Foyth was good.
Was that not a good cautionary tale? I didn't even need to say anything else. You guys are like, okay.
We all like even till now, like. I remember watching him at Villarreal under Emery. He was cooking, but obviously that was years later. But you always knew
man,
he had talent, man.
That game again, was it Wolves?
It was someone.
He gave away when he. Man, he was so good up until that. He was so good, and then he got the jitters. He wasn't able to shake him. But then again,
we're seeing here. I did also see Vuskovic has been left out of the Super Cup squad. And Mr. Udang said his loan to HSB is imminent. And I didn't think that was the case. I think his brother plays for them, Hamburg. So Spurs are just looking to send him out on loan where he's going to get first team minutes in a decent league, play consistently, and then also grow a bit more. Because I think he still needs to fill out his body and stuff and grow up, like get into that. Because he looks big. He's a lot bigger than Romero, and he even looks built out a little bit. Another year. And I think he might be ready to be that player coming into the first team.
100%. Because
we got the SSA for the super chat real quick. My guy, Super Saya Jacob, you already know where it is. Chelsea youngsters don't miss Chico. Yeah, I think they don't, to be fair. The Chelsea youngsters are very good. But I do want to move into just some of the Super Cup preview before we wrap up anytime soon. But before I go into that, I don't know if you guys see, but Thomas Frank did drop a quote regarding our captain. Because obviously, we still don't know who our captain of this team is going to be. We generally don't know. He hasn't appointed one. And he's come out saying this, that he would like a captain that can bring the group together, can set standards. So for the captain to be one of the best trainers, if not the best trainer, but also that he hopefully can get around the squad and just be with everyone. So really surprised that he's not chosen his captain as of yet. That I would think would be Romero, but clearly he's still hesitating to make that decision. Obviously, the big game coming up in 2 days, Super Cup. I would expect that it's announced before that game, but if not, just after that game. How are we feeling for that game? Let's just go straight into it. What are we saying? How are we feeling? Super Cup settings. What are the guys saying, man?
Elijah, I want Elijah to go first. He's always there quizzically, like,
Yeah, man. You know, I got 2 ears and 1 mouth, innit? I like to listen, bro. You know what I'm saying? I like to listen.
You went to my dad's seminar, didn't you?
You know, as I'm always waiting for someone to say something outrageous, innit? I've got my OBS open just in case, fam. You know what I'm saying? But I can't lie, for this game, I'm mad, innit? I'm mad because in normal Spurs fashion, we're getting linked with players that will improve the team, and the game is 2 days away or 3 days or whatever the fuck. Why couldn't this have been done a month ago? You know, like that's why I'm actually like upset. Because if we have clear-cut chances against PSG and we can't take them, and we end up getting like a here we go for Savio right after the game, or like a here we go too close and then he can't travel, and we're just missing that spark against PSG, I'm going to be mad. Because if we had got this done a month ago, or at least got this done like a couple weeks ago, we could have gone into this game with at least a Savio, with maybe an Eze, or if we get another 10 option, even if it's El Canous, bro, like just being able to have these players. It's like we're waiting until after basically the biggest game, the biggest Spurs game anyway in my lifetime. And now we're talking about Savio. And I'm annoyed, innit? I'm annoyed because I can see us basically getting pammed throughout the whole game. And then we have that one chance and then it falls to a Tell and he misses, you know, or it falls to a Richarlison and he misses. And it just hurts, innit? Because like we all want to win this game. But even from Frank's first games, like first preseason games, we knew that the attack was past to Kudus and let's pray, innit?
Yeah.
That's not going to work against PSG. Like it isn't going to work. We've known this for the whole time. And we've been linked with all these men and no one's come. And obviously the Gibbs White thing stored everything out. And now we're 2 days away from a game. And as much as we all like Savio and think he's going to improve the squad, why would we want him for Burnley when we have PSG in 2 days? That's why I'm upset, bro. Because like, if we end up narrowly losing this game by a goal or two, being able to have those players in the squad that maybe could do something would have potentially changed the outcome. Because PSG, as much as their attack is great, they've gone games without scoring a goal. We remember the Liverpool game. Alisson had a masterclass. Of course, it was an Alisson masterclass. But one thing we trust Vicario is to save the ball. He has a bozo mistake in him, but shot stopping wise, Vicario was good.
Just because this is one thing. You were cooking, and then all of a sudden there was a power cut right at the end. Right at the end. It's like,
you don't remember the Europa League final? Vicario spilling the ball.
He made a mistake. Yeah,
I'm not saying his mistake will lead to goals. I'm just saying that he can make mistakes.
I feel like Bozo moment is unfair. I feel like
it may be hyperbolic, but you understand the overall premise.
100%. But
you know,
the thing is, but like. Why do people talk about Vicario like that, but not Kinski like that?
Kinski is shit. I don't want Kinski.
Bro, you know what? Listen,
like
you should have seen me after that Liverpool game. I was going on podcast.
I was pacing around my room.
I think I was on a show with Deji actually, and we were absolutely. Oh my god! I hope the video footage has been lost. I don't think
I'm telling you, that was the first stream I ever did. You would just see me pacing around my room, bro. I was just walking to the door, walking back, and I kept doing that for like 5 minutes. Kinski pisses me off, innit? But like the whole point is that Vicario, I feel like Vicario could turn up in terms of facing the amount of shots and saving them. I think he can do that. It's just if we had a Savio and a Kudus on the wings, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it would just add. It would just, and then we had an Eze in the middle. I just think
an Odobert will do okay. Like it's like
I think he'll do okay. I like him, but
I feel like the thing is,
what do we think about the proposition of playing Odobert in the 10 for this game? Because obviously Odobert, if we're looking at,
I don't think.
Man, don't shut that down straight away. Didn't even let me like point up in there. Try to explain my thought process. But wait, see it like this way. See it like this, yeah. We need a ball carrier. Wait. Frank needs a ball carrier. When you're looking at somebody who can take it left, take it right. Odebert's probably the best in our team. He's a bit ambidextrous with his dribbling. He can go left, he can go right, comfortable on both feet. If we need someone who can progress that ball through the midfield, potentially get on that ball and technically good, Odebert might be our only guy that can do that. And plus, he has played 10 before. Odebert has played in the 10.
Man, I got to run in about 5 minutes, but let me just dead Jords' thing real quick and let you know what I'm saying. I think that you've been streaming too much with the Arsenal man. That's
what I'm saying, bro.
That's an Arteta theory that you just put out there, bro. Yeah. That's the sort of mad creativity that Arteta does, and then he's scratching his head as to why it doesn't work. It's never going to work with Odegaard in the 10, bro. It's just about working with the brother out there. Can I just say, Tottenham against PSG on Wednesday, for me, I don't even feel as bad as my bro E. Yeah. Man, I'm just watching the game just for vibes. I can't even lie to you, bro. It's a vibes cartel setting for me. We're going to get absolutely raped on that pitch. And I'm cool with it, bro, because we ain't good enough. Do you get what I'm saying? PSG is better than Bayern Munich, yeah? And when I'm looking at Richarlison starting, Odegaard, Ortel, and Papsar in the number 10 role, or Bergvall, it's long. Just vibes. For me, I'm going to the We Are Tottenham studio, and I'm going to have still bands playing in the background.
First.
Yeah.
First.
No, I don't blame you, man. That's it's gonna be. Look, we're gonna need some vibes. We're gonna need some extra bit of spice to get us through that game. But I'll be honest, at this point, the only way I see us getting through this is just seeing it out. Penalties, getting a draw. You know, doing a low block at some point. Maybe getting an early goal, seeing out the game, get to that penalties, and just get through it that way. You see me, I'm all about a dirty win. I don't mind if it ain't pretty. We can get an early goal. You can't see it like this. PSG,
you know what it is? Spurs are known for the early goal and then capitulating. That's the problem. When we get the early goal, we capitulate.
When you look at that PSG game, or just look at PSG games in general, they're very heavy on an early press, getting all their players up high into that pitch. And we can play good out from the back. I think our players at the back are very comfy playing through the press. I think the issue we have is being able to take advantage once we get into that midfield or that second, third, final, and third positions on the pitch. So we need to be very direct in that game. We need to get that ball out into the channels and making sure in the transition, don't have Kudus coming short. Have Kudus going long for that. We need to go into the old school Alan Kirbishley, Route 1 football days. We saw that's exactly how Chelsea beat them and broke that team down. He played long balls, direct football into the channels and just forced their fullbacks into the 1v1. So Nuno Mendes and Hakimi had long days against the Chelsea wingers. So I'm just looking at it, I'm saying Kudus, Odegaard, Tel, whichever one, whichever combination it is, we just need both of them getting at their players 1v1. That's the key.
I have. If it was Savio instead of Odegaard, that's why I'm looking at this, man. I'm gonna be singing Unreleased Tupac throughout the whole stream as the fourth goal and the fifth goal go in. Maybe a sixth goal, depending on how they're feeling. It's not gonna be fun. But I'm just on the whole time we're getting pammed in it. I'm just gonna be thinking like, what if we had Savio and Eze and we got our deals done a month ago?
I think by us getting pammed by PSG, that would give Thomas Frank the ammunition to be like, it's do or die. Get Eze over the line now, because I feel like that's what the getting panned by Bayern Munich opened the door for Savio. Honestly, had we got a draw or something, they're not bringing that brother in. So I kind of want us to get slapped up. So it forces Levy's hand to get Eze. Because if we get a decent result against PSG, all of a sudden you'll just see us go cold on the Eze links, thinking like,
but the thing is, maybe on the Eze, my issue isn't my thing's actually like, okay, like kudos, Savio, Gibbs White. I'm not even. I'm like this brother will bring us a link that no one's ever thought of, and we'll be like, okay, like this works. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like Savio came from nowhere. I hear what you're saying. My thing about PSG is English teams have caused them problems. Yeah. All last season in the Champions League, Villa caused them problems. Obviously, they were arguably Liverpool, who played the least dual transition type football, caused them the least problems. Yeah. Arsenal was pure dual transition. Do you know what I mean? Like running the angles, things like that. So I think we've got a chance. I think matchup wise, stylistic wise, we're a bad matchup for PSG. Like based off what I've seen, even Chelsea, physical, running, high pressing, all of these teams cause them problems. So I think we'll cause them problems. I don't think we're going to get battered. I think matchups make games, and we're a terrible matchup for them. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I'm actually looking at it. It's like the evidence tells me, when they played Villa's second leg had them on the absolute ropes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like Arsenal, full tie. We can be honest now. They had them on the ropes in that tie. Like if any Arsenal fan asks me, nope, you got beat home and away. But in the actual in-game state, if Saka doesn't put that over the bar, they might bottle that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking at this matchup saying, okay, we're going to run at them. They're going to leave us space. We've got people that can run at them. Odebear, Kudos, run at them. Yeah? Like, we got people like Porro that can ping the ball over the top, things like that. So, yeah, it's not, and we're not favorites or anything, but we've definitely got something. Do you know what I mean? As in, like, we've got something that, like, I'm definitely, like, Bayern, I think, might even be better than PSG. Like, the front four we played against in that game of Diaz, Gnabry, Elise, Kane. I'm sorry, that's because the quality level of Diaz and Elise, obviously they've got Kvara, but Elise is better than Doué, Kane's better than Dembele, I know you can make the argument for Dembele, but I think obviously Kane's probably better number 9. Obviously, they had Coleman, whose biggest issue is injuries, not his actual quality level. So I'm like, okay, we got smashed up, but that's a really good test for PSG. The defense and midfield should be ready. After getting battered like that, you're going to be facing not as similar, but you're going to face four high-quality attackers. Like, don't stink up the joint, lads.
It's gonna be looking tough.
We have a chance.
We have a chance, but let's get score predictions. I know Deji and Jay are about to go over to a gal. We're gonna send you guys over to a gal with them. But let's get score predictions before we end up. What you guys think the score is gonna be? And
I've got 4-0 or 3-1 PSG.
Fair enough. I'm not even gonna get on to guys because I understand why people ain't got hope, but I got hope. Don't worry about that. We're getting into a final. I always got hope in a final. Don't worry about that. Biggest game of the season, biggest cup final that you can be.
It's a final, but it's not a final.
It's the biggest European competition you can win. Deji, it's the biggest European competition you can win. Technically, it is. The winner of the Europa League against the winner of the Champions League. You can't get better competition than that. Let's be honest. But look, I'm gonna go with Spurs win. Get it done on penalties. 1-1.
Penalties? Oh no.
That's what I'm saying.
We are not winning a penalty shootout. There's no chance, bro. I don't trust these men. Hey, look, if we're gonna win the game, it has to be in 90 minutes of football. Anything past that, we're getting slapped. Just because I don't want to say we lose the game, I'll say a crazy ass 1-0, bro. But that's a delusional 1-0 scoreline I'm going with there. But I don't want to predict Spurs to lose, innit? You know what I'm saying?
That's not like the 1-1 we win on penalties, especially with Donnarumma not playing. That could be a shout. Because Donnarumma's just
he's not in the squad.
That's what I'm saying. He's just a BFG. Like I get, like, you know, when you go to step up and take a penalty, like he must look gigantic in that goal. Like it must be very, very, very difficult.
He's on them keepers. He puts his hands up and he's already above the bar, and it's like,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So
feels like he can just save anything, bro.
Yeah, like it seems like I could, you know, it's got Lange, PSG's new goalie, Lange written all over it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
never won a penalty shootout, Chevalier. Facts.
So yeah, I think we win. I know this might come out to bite me, and I might not say it on a less Spurs forum like a gal show, but I think we win. I think that I like I said, I think they're gonna come really, you know, like we just got to weather the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, try and get into the game a little bit. But you know, big transitions, big counters. I think we can hurt them. Like I'm saying, like from watching Chelsea, Villa, Arsenal versus this team, all of the teams played transition ball. All of the teams like pressed. All of the teams cost them, you know, big issues. So from my point of view, I think we can do them in this game. I genuinely do, and I think that the buy-in game will help a lot in relation to this because, like, you know, leaving certain players 1v1, doing this, doing that, dropping too quickly to the byline, not having an out ball, not having a plan in possession, things like that. I think we're going to see something better. You know, you get the ball. All right, what are we doing? Like, what's our go-to move when we get the ball on a transition? I think that's going to be a lot clearer because of the issues we had when we were playing. So yeah, I'm going to go with 2-1 Spurs.
Come on, that's what I like to hear, people. 2-1 Spurs. We're going to get the job done. Don't underestimate us, as Mr. Udang here. And Mr. Esgos has said, I'm all for us scumming our way to a trophy. Bring it that way. I want us to get some wrong decisions. You know, VAR, call it wrong. Whatever it needs to happen, bring the trophy back, Spurs. Because 2 trophies in a season, I need it. I need this bad. Trust me. But that might also make Levy think our team's better than it is. So, double-edged sword. Who knows? But big up to everyone inside, people. Make sure you smash a like button. I don't even know what the likes are on today, but it's cool. I think the likes are good. 42 likes, 44 people inside, so we can't complain. I'm going to send you guys over to a gal, and so you can hear more of Deji and Jay, who are going to be doing a bit more of a Spurs season preview with a gal, talking a bit about the Super Cup in more detail, but also what their thoughts are for the season on the upside of things. So if you've heard them say something over here and it's not said over there, don't bait it out. We're comfy settings over. This is Spurs therapy room. Very different. Over there, rival settings, so it might get a little bit rowdy, but we need to make sure we're backing them on that side of things. But show love and support to their channels. Everyone's channel is in the description. If everyone wants to shout, Deji, you want to shout out when you're next live? Let the people know when to find you.
Yeah, I think I'll be live tomorrow lunchtime, and then I'm going to be at We Are Tottenham TV studio Wednesday for the final.
So I look forward to that, man. We Are Tottenham TV studio. Deji is there for the final, people. Elijah, when you next live? Tomorrow at live at 3?
Yeah, live at 3. I'll also be live in like 10 minutes. Going to do a little chill stream with the man them, see what everyone's saying. But yeah, 3 o'clock show tomorrow, and then summer series with Mike's, and then the final, innit? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be on YouTube for the next few days, bro. No cap.
Facts. I'm going to be live as well. You guys know me. Live plenty. Back tomorrow morning early, maybe 9:15, 9:30. We'll see what it is, but we're going to be back nice and early. So make sure you guys are there. W stream yet again, and yeah, man, you guys make sure you stay right where you are. I'm gonna send you guys over to a gal to join more of Deji and Jay. Big up, Deji. Good to have you back, Jay, as well. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Elijah, always